I'm currently outside the only Chinese Taoist temple here in Mumbai. This place opened in 1919 in what was once Mumbai's bustling Chinatown. But as you can see, there is not much activity here anymore. This building is one of few remaining traces of a once sizable Chinese community that lived not just in Mumbai, but across all of India. The Chinese population of Mumbai was estimated to be around 15,000 in the early 1960s, but as of 2015, that number has shrunk down to about 4,000. But despite the disappearance of this community, the legacy of what was once generations of Chinese families living in India can still be found in one thing. Okay, so this one is paneer chili. This is Manchurian. It's an Indian Chinese dish that was actually created here in Mumbai. These are chicken lollipops. Obviously, they don't look anything like typical Chinese food. I got Manchow soup. Oh wow, okay. Chinese food in India, or otherwise known as Indo-Chinese cuisine, is not something you can find in China. And that's because this is a part of Indian food, a sub-cuisine developed by a minority group that not only assimilated into the lifestyle, but the food of this country. The history of Indian and Chinese flavors colliding can date back all the way to the Silk Road, over 2,000 years ago. But the roots of this Indo-Chinese cuisine specifically began much more recently, in the 18th century in the city of Calcutta. From there, it has spread across the country, with Mumbai and Calcutta now being the two centers for Indian Chinese food. But very much like in Mumbai, Calcutta, which had an even larger Chinatown, has seen a similar vanishing of this once vibrant community. So in this video, I want to cover a few things. How this mix of Indian and Chinese food began here, what happened to the Chinatowns of these cities, and how their legacy continues through food that Indians now cherish so much.
We are trying our best to make people aware.
I love Indo-Chinese food.
Indian Chinese food is something like
Chicken lollipop, fried rice.
We can all revive Chinatown.
Mumbai. It's a city full of speed, honks, smells, and of course, food. Okay, so I'm in this restaurant that looks very Chinese on the inside, but of course I'm in India. I got Manchow soup. So it's this thick soup that has cornstarch, ginger, and chili peppers. Yeah, let's see what this is like. Oh wow, okay. That is spicy. That is more than just a kick. That has a lot of spices in it. Alright, so now we're down to the main dish. This is Manchurian. It's an Indian Chinese dish that was actually created here in Mumbai. Manchurian can be made with anything. It could be vegetarian, it could be made with chicken or pork. I got it with chicken and with rice as well, so let's see what it's like. Oh, that's awesome. It's crazy. Just looking at it, it looks like any typical sort of like curry dish, like butter chicken or whatnot. But when you taste it, it has an Indian profile, but the DNA of it is also Chinese. It's very jarring to get my head around. To give you an idea of just how ubiquitous Chinese food is in India, a 2017 study looked into over 50,000 random restaurants across India to see how many of them served a Indian Chinese dish. And over 20,000 of them said they did, and almost 5,000 of them were in Mumbai. China and India are known to have had contact since the 5th century BC, centuries before Buddhism was even introduced to China. Across the centuries, the Silk Road would become the main connection between these two giants. But again, it wasn't until the late 18th century when Indian Chinese food really began to become a sub-cuisine. The origin of this culture most likely began during British rule of India, when Calcutta was the capital of the colony. Being directly connected to London made Kolkata a hot spot for work for people surrounding the area. And given its proximity to southern China, it made it an attractive destination for Chinese people to come find work in a big city. The first known Chinese settler in India was a man named Tong Achu, who lived in the outskirts of Kolkata in the late 1700s. Here, he opened up a sugar mill, eventually employing 5 more workers from China. And this began a steady wave of Chinese immigrants making their way from mainly Guangdong to Kolkata to find work. Of course, as these people moved to India, they brought their food along with them. But many ingredients that were available in somewhere like Canton weren't in Kolkata. So as Indian ingredients began to replace Chinese ones, the flavors of Hakka and Cantonese food started to become more Indian. As these Chinese people began to congregate, a Chinatown was forming. Some Chinese people began to open restaurants in Kolkata, serving both Chinese and Indians. And in order to increase their sales, they continued to adjust their food to the flavors that Indians were more used to. So, no trip to India would be complete without trying some chai. Yeah, that's actually the best chai I've ever had. Through decades, as this new subset of Chinese food developed in India, certain dishes like Manchurian and lemon chicken became standardized and spread across the country into other cities. Up until the 1960s, there were about 4 to 5 cities in India with a sizable Chinese population, and only 2 of these ever had enough to create a Chinatown. But now, there's only a single Chinatown left in all of India, which, by the way, is the world's most populated country. And in Calcutta, the Chinese community has largely dwindled as well. In the early 1900s, there were about 20,000 Chinese people in Calcutta. Now there's barely 2,000. Just to give some perspective, Calcutta's population in 1960 was around 5.5 million. Now it's at 16 million. So even though the population has exploded across India, what happened to these Chinese communities? This is the Tawang War Memorial. It sits in this contested border region between China and India. It's a Buddhist memorial commemorating Indian soldiers who lost their lives in a month-long war with China over the region it sits on. This was a war I've heard a little bit about before, but didn't really know much about until doing research for this video. I won't go into what the war was really about because it's way too complex, and this video is about food. But what generally happened was that after years of rising tensions over this region, China commenced an offensive war against India in October 1962. Though this war only lasted about a month, it took the lives of around 1,000 soldiers on both sides, and has left a scarred relationship between these two giants. The general borders between China and India have been a consistent source of tensions between the two countries. Even in 2020, there were skirmishes on the border, though a different portion from the 1962 war. But this conflict in the 60s heavily affected India's relationship with China, and its Chinese immigrants in the country.
Enraged mobs in New Delhi called down curses on Red China, and every store owned by Chinese was attacked.
After the 1962 war, a rise of hostility rose in India against the Chinese who were living there. Many of these Chinese people, by the way, have been living in India for generations at this point. These people's mother tongues weren't Chinese languages, but rather Hindi, Marathi, or Bengali. They were Indian citizens and had Indian passports.
I am born in India, and there's no question that I should go back because my family and everything is settled in Darjeeling. Acquired the method of the democracy of India, and the constitution is also suits me well. So it's no question that we should go back.
But regardless, these communities took on a lot of anger from their fellow Indians in the aftermath of the war. Chinese Indians were suddenly considered the fifth column by the Indian government, and most were actually sent to internment camps. This, of course, is similar to what the US did to its Japanese communities after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Most people who were sent to these internment camps would be there for about 2 years. And when they could return to their properties in places like Mumbai or Kolkata, they found their properties often destroyed, looted, or newly occupied by other people. Many of these people would eventually choose to leave India due to their experiences in internment. Many moved to places like Canada or Southeast Asia. And again, these were people who were Indian before Chinese. Most of them had never even been to China before. Okay, fast forward to the present day. And now the Indians have adopted the food that the Chinese left behind. This food is beloved by Indians today, and it's easily accessible all across Mumbai. And I think it's a good indication that despite past conflicts, food is still what always brings people together. But I wanted to understand this food in particular better, in a way that a local would. So I asked one of my friends in Mumbai if she could help show me around.
From here.
Okay. That's like something out of Harry Potter.
So this is Indian noodles made out of wheat, and you can make upma, which is one of the Indian dish, and it's really fun and interesting. It has a bit of a nutty flavor, and it's very easy to cook.
By the way, she has her own YouTube channel where she filmed herself biking from Seoul to Busan. And she was kind enough to take me to places I wouldn't have expected to find Chinese food.
Dada, this is the vada pav dish.
Okay. Okay. Mumbai vada pav.
He's saying it's hot.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's very comfy. A little spicy, but very, very good. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be a crime for me to come to Mumbai without trying this dish.
So this is where we sit and eat.
Oh.
We remove our shoes. Chinese milega idhar? Yeah, we remove our shoes and then we sit. Schezwan rice is basically the chutney, which is Schezwan over here, which you can see. And Schezwan rice is basically all the rice mixed with the fried rice, mixed with carrots, cabbage and capsicum. And they fry it they shallow fry it, and then they serve it with the Schezwan chutney. And yeah, it is one of the spicier dish because when the Chinese food originated in India, it was much more sweeter, and Indians did not like much of a sweet food. So this is our version of Chinese food, and it's going to be spicy. Just a heads up.
Okay, I'm not the strongest with spicy food, but I will do my best to survive it. So far, that's not that. Oh, okay. Maybe, maybe. Yeah, it's kicking in now. There's like a very subtle bit of Chinese food in there, but on top of it, it's all like Indian spices. That's so interesting. I'm trying to describe what it tastes like, but there's so many flavors hitting me at the same time that my brain is taking a while to comprehend it. Is there tomato in here, or is that just my brain trying to figure out? Oh, there is tomato. Okay. I think the first few things that I'm tasting are tomato and then paprika, I think.
Yes.
And the chutney as well. The chutney is really subtle. I think the chutney is what makes it feel really Indian. This is really good. I was worried when you told me that, oh, it's very spicy. And I was like, oh no, how much of it can I eat? But no, this goes on so easy. Because the thing in reverse, it almost feels like biryani, but giving it like a Chinese flavor.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is part of a biryani, but the Chinese biryani, I would say.
Man, everything I've had in India, it has been like really good so far. So this is like one of the, definitely, I mean, everybody already knows Indian food is like one of the best. So this is like really cool.
To dim down the spice, you can add a dash of lemon and onion. And you break a piece of the bread and you dip it into the bhaji and you eat it.
Do I just dip it like this?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. This is the best food I've had in
Really?
India so far. This
Really?
is without a doubt, actually.
And you know how long it takes to make this? 30 minutes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
This thing feels like it's been slow cooked.
No.
Wow. Is it easy to make at home? I'm
Yeah,
gonna try to see if I can
extremely
replicate.
easy. I can send you the recipe. It's one of the easiest food you can make actually. You do need a bit of a spices to have with you. You need to have a masala, which is specifically done for the pav bhaji.
Okay.
You need that concoction, but it can be done.
Oh, that's good. There's like lentil in it as well?
No.
No? Oh, what is that?
Capsicum, onion, tomatoes. Then we have gobi, which is cauliflower, and then we have potatoes as the base thing, and peas.
Oh, I guess it's the peas that I mean. You would think that after all that food, we'd be done. But nope, she took me to another restaurant in Kolaba that I thought was entirely Indian. Only they had a whole menu serving Chinese food.
This is Chinese bhel. In India, we have a street food version of bhel, and this is a Chinese version of it, where they deep fry the noodles and they serve it with the other veggies. You will like it.
Okay, Chinese bhel. It's so weird. This kind of like fried noodle thing.
Yes.
I've seen it everywhere in China. It's never tasted like it before. It's sweet and sour a little bit. That's really comfy. It's like a snack, actually.
Usually have it with chai.
I can imagine that's good. Okay, so this one is paneer chili. That tastes really Chinese in a really weird way. So the paneer is the tofu. So that's something that I've only ever had in Indian food.
Oh.
Like we have tofu in Chinese food, of course, but the consistency, the texture of the tofu isn't like this. It's not as creamy. So it's like having that kind of paneer, I guess, with entirely like Chinese flavors. It's very weird. It's Chinese food, but Indian ingredients. Instead of like having a lot of Indian flavors, it's like Indian ingredients. After eating here, I was totally full, but she wasn't convinced. So she brought me over to the famous Leopold Cafe to eat even more Indo-Chinese food. These are chicken lollipops. Obviously they don't look anything like typical Chinese food, but yeah, let's give it a try. It's very juicy. It looks like it's dry, but it's not at all. It's very juicy. This is when I realized this sub-cuisine expands way further than I expected. It wasn't just about 10 dishes or so, it was dozens, some of which had very generic names or blended completely into Indian menus. Beyond these dishes, there are so many more to list. There is chili chicken, another Indian dish with Chinese heritage, using Cantonese-style sweet and savory flavors with Indian spices. And another interesting one is Indian-American chop suey, which apparently tastes nothing like American chop suey, but rather has a sweet and spicy orange sauce on top of crispy fried noodles and egg. It's believed that the dish was created in Calcutta during World War II, when American soldiers were stationed there and asked Chinese restaurants to cook chop suey they had back in the US. Also, Chinese food in India isn't typically eaten with chopsticks. Actually, I never ended up using chopsticks in India for any Chinese dish I ate. Rather, forks and spoons are the main utensils for the cuisine here. By the way, Mumbai isn't just a good place to try Chinese and Indian fusion food. There are many other cuisines that are getting mixed in with Indian flavors here, including Mexican food. I want to make it clear that I think India is actually an incredibly friendly place to outsiders, including the Chinese. I mean, after all, it's the Indians who have now taken on this legacy left behind by the Chinese, and they're taking very good care of it. India has incredible diversity and has actually adopted many foreign cuisines under its belt beyond Chinese food. Whether if it's Jewish, Portuguese, or Persian food, this world-famous cuisine has brought in so much influence and is more than just biryani and curries. Indians have actually fallen in love with this sub-cuisine so much that immigrants from Mumbai and Calcutta are now opening up Indo-Chinese restaurants overseas in places like London and New York. So this culture is slowly but steadily creeping its way across the globe, much in the same way that American Chinese food has become its own separate phenomenon. I think the general success story of this food becoming so ingrained to Indian life shows the benefits of cultural diffusion. I mean, you get to basically put together the two best cuisines in the world to come up with something even crazier, and despite having a very complex past and sometimes complex present, two very different cultures can still find a middle ground with what they eat.